Hi everyone, Broman Jenkins here. Welcome back to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Today we are going to be storming a castle on our own. This is a game that mostly relies on you using your squad and your support equipment very effectively to conquer numerous challenges, such as the insane number of people that can be thrown at you at any given time, enemy vehicles and such. In this level we don't get that. We are on our own outside of this helicopter section at the start. And for the most part, I'm going to let this helicopter section take over for a while and talk to you more about this level as we play it on foot. But I wanted to give you brief warning. I had to cut out huge sections of this level because the health mechanic in this game is not conducive to getting shot more than twice before you go into a bad section. And there's two bad sections lined up together in this level, and I'll explain those when I get to them. And for the most part, I'm just going to shut up during this helicopter section and talk about this during the rest of the level.
Support to take Chapultepec, so I need the enemy AA suppressed. Cleared. And I mean now. Captain Mitchell, can you make this happen?
Alright, so we're off the chopper gunner and completely on our own. As you can see, I can't get back in this thing as much as I want to, and now I am alone. So we're going to take on one of the more difficult missions of the game on our own. I can't stress enough that we are on our own in a squad-based shooter.
Four bad guys approaching your position.
I think you're right.
The game does not slow down or throw fewer people at you or anything like that. As a matter of fact, it probably makes it more difficult, if anything, for these solo missions. And you'll see what I mean by that in a minute or two. Actually, just this section alone is pretty difficult. The game is designed in some ways to be more accommodating to the fact that you're on your own. So you're going to see narrower hallways and staircases and such than you'd normally see. You're going to see a much more linear structure, less cover, further upfield, all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, this game really shows you in this mission that it is a squad-based shooter. You cannot run and gun this at all if you even wanted to, which I don't think you would. You only get 4 hits in this game before you die, and those 4 hits, I've already absorbed 2 of them, and I'm about to absorb the 3rd, which puts me at the red condition for almost the entire mission. Later on I hit an ammo box and get a little health, and I'll show you how that works when we get to it. But that's the only way to regain health. And here I almost died anyways, because this guy was shooting me up here. I don't even know how it works in the hardcore mode this game has. I've never actually tried it. Now these staircases are death traps.
Black Hawk 4, this is Barnes at Crisis Center. 3 mobile units confirmed. We do not have a current fix on 2 of them. We are checking our systems. We'll have an update for you shortly.
Anyways, those staircases are death traps. And you'll see what I mean, especially this one. The other ones aren't so bad. But I wanted to get close, so I'd make sure to hit that shot on that guy, and then I started getting hit from other angles, and I turned to see this guy. Yep. You're going to see just how good I have to be about cover now, that I have only one hit. Oh, yay. So it turns out that you don't have a melee option in this game at all. So when those guys come at you like that, you have to hit them. You have to shoot them. Because shooting's so unwieldy, especially from cover, you will more often than not die if somebody charges you. Here you can see that Mitchell likes to limp a bit when he's down to red, which you'll see a lot more. It also means that when you stop running, he runs out of breath faster, so you can't sight in as long. There's a few different things that happen if you run out of breath or get hit a lot. And let's sneak our way up here.
Crisis Center, this is Black Hawk 4. Can you update those mobile ADAs?
That's a negative, Black Hawk 4. Still tracking the last two.
Alright. Yep, that almost worked. This section is not too bad compared to the rest of the level. And it's still dangerous. I don't know why that reload animation is so bad. You'd imagine that a game that's based on cover shooting, they would spend a little time on that reload animation, but they did not. One of those weird things. Yeah, I thought that guy was still up there. I haven't shown that off yet. The different vision modes you can use. I accidentally took off all my objectives by going into that diamond mode you saw, which is just a bad idea. And I almost died to that guy. The AI gets even more devious as this game goes on. They do not get easier to deal with. Alright, those two are way out of my reach, but I'm still paranoid about them. So we're dealing with guys lying down. We're dealing with people staying out of sight or hidden. So it's getting dangerous for us. And in a dark map as well, this game does not do darkness well. This is dangerous territory. So we're about to hit the first of our objectives, which is to blow up several different things in this mission. It's all AA guns for the most part, and then artillery. So it's basically a carbon copy of the last mission's objectives. Ooh, a couple guys in there. Let's not deal with this. You're going to see me use grenades much more liberally, pretty much from here on out. They're very useful, despite the fact that they're completely unwieldy. They take so long to switch to, then to throw, that I feel like I shouldn't even be using them. So you can only plant the C4 charge on the side this game decides you can plant it on. So let's get over there. And if you get too close, it won't let you plant. So you have to stand the perfect distance away. And I'm not taking any risks about how close I can be. So I'm going to obsess about this guy for a second or two.
Locate the two remaining mobile batteries. The enemy is using ECM and scrambling the entire zone. No intel, in or out.
But in the end, that guy doesn't matter at all. You can't get over this waist-high fence, by the way. I'm really upset about that, because you really need to be where that waist-high fence ends. Alright, I'm going to cut here, because I died about 40 times on this next section. So we've just passed out into the street here. As you can see, on the right is that waist-high fence. There's a couple new guys. Now this section really lulls you into a false sense of security, and if you don't know exactly what you need to be doing, you can really get fucked up here. And because I died so many times, I know what I have to be doing here. Oh, there he is. We're gonna have a brief conversation.
Enemy helo moving toward your position, Scott. He's low and fast. Looks like Mexican Special Forces. No time, Scott, no time. We've got to get a move on. Alright.
Mexican Special Forces. They are our enemies for the rest of the game. Or rest of the mission. Actually, the game, too, mostly. We've been playing just generic rebels up till this point, but I'll get close to one of their corpses so you can see. It's going to be Special Forces for... They look similar to what the ghosts look like, even. But right here, I'm going to be making thermal vision a very important part of my strategy on this gun. You can take these guys out from off the gun. You couldn't take out that vehicle off of it, but you can take these guys out. And they're not super difficult, but at the same time, I would rather be on the gun. Here we go. I actually used that gun, eliminated a few people in one of my deaths, and then ran forward only to have about 4 more of them around this corner. So I'm legitimately paranoid about this now. And that's how you have to play this game a lot of the time. Alright, we're going into the worst section of this level. And one of the worst in the entire game. And especially when you only have 1 bit of health.
Captain, you can use your thermal vision inside the scrambled zone. That seems to work.
That's right, they scrambled the area. We can't see shit.
Lead. Destroying the scrambling device should return your HUD to normal function.
So we have to take out 2 targets, but we can't tell quite where they are. And because the scrambling effect works the way it does, our thermal vision's our best bet. But the thermal vision has very, let's say, shallow field of vision. And on top of that, most of your enemies are going to be a distance away from you. So you can't see anything. It is really poorly thought out, really poorly implemented. I can understand the need or the want to do something like this, but it's just so badly done. And I died in this section way too often. And that was a weird glitch. I don't know what to say about that. That was not a cut. That was a glitch. So anyways, I died way too often in this section. It's just very annoying. And I wish they had rethought this before they actually made the game and said maybe we shouldn't do something like this. And it looked relatively simple when I did that, right? Now, the unfortunate thing is you have to follow a certain path or you will get hit too many times to really do anything. If you go on the left, there's guys who alternate their spawn locations. If you go on the right...
One mobile target active. You've got to take it out.
Oh my god. If you go on the right, the guys are fairly stable in where they end up spawning, so you can fairly well predict where they're going to be and just take out the long distance guys before you get into the scrambled zone. And this is one of those cases coming up. So from here you know where the guys who guard this thing are going to be, and once you kill them, the other guys will come shoot you. So you can find out where they are, as long as you don't get hit first. If they hit you with a lucky bullet, you're screwed. Let's pop this guy. Alright. So I was lucky they spawned right underneath the guard tower this time, so it means I don't even have to change where I'm looking. I don't have to go search these guys out. And I actually got them. It's pretty good. There's a couple guys still over here, though. And if you don't know to look for them, you'll run right into them. It's still one of those sections. I am actually legitimately concerned for 2006 me for thinking this was a great section, really intense. Because 2012 me hates this thing. But at least night vision works, I guess. But you can see, if I ran in here with these guys shooting me, I wouldn't be able to see anything. And the diamond mode I have, the other one, if you turn that on, or well off in this section, you still won't be able to see anything. Mitchell just can't take off his little glasses thing and, you know, shoot like a normal person would, I guess. The enemy forces have no trouble seeing me in this, so I assume Mitchell could just remove his eyepiece and fire what will. But here we are.
This is Black Hawk 4. Captain Mitchell has neutralized the hostile air defense. We are air mobile again.
Copy that. We have stationary artillery inside the castle near Chapultepec's west wall. Heavy stuff. Mitchell, We need to relieve pressure from that hostile artillery.
Copy that, General. New objective. Locate and destroy hostile artillery at Chapultepec.
So get used to people talking to me from like limbo there, as that guy just did, with no background at all. Sometimes they don't pop up, or the game developers were just too lazy to put it in there. Don't ask me why that's a thing. So we're actually fairly close to the end of the mission. We're a little more than halfway there, and we're going to hit one of the easier sections as long as you know what you're doing. I am, of course, very paranoid about this entire thing. I had turned off the diamond mode to see if that'd help anything. I don't think that showed up on camera, though. This section, by the way, I ended up running down later in the mission, thinking I had to backtrack. I'll explain about that. So I believe the gameplay reason why you couldn't have people on your force in this one was because... oh, fuck. Anytime.
The entrance is well guarded. Stay sharp.
Here we go. Watch this. Pro. I'm still getting shot at. Just making sure it's safe. Alright. I'm getting a little better about this cover system. Oh god. You know, I'm not even playing this right now, and I still worry that I'm gonna die. Alright. Now, there's an ammo box immediately to my left here. So if I run over there, I can get some health. But I can only get one thing of health from it at a time, so I don't want to take it before I might die. You know, I don't want to waste it if I can do it. So let's talk about that. The health, the ammo boxes, and the UPC or APCs that show up in the game, they will restore your health by 1 bar. Of course, the bars are invisible, so I just go straight to yellow. Let's open this again. Now, if this restored health 1 bar each individual time you went to it, I would go into the first green stage, but I don't. I stay right at yellow. So I can't regenerate more health from this thing than the one I get. That's kind of a shame. I really wish it didn't work that way. And actually, you'll notice that happened to enemies in this game, where I'll hit them and they'll go down 1/4 of their health for the most part. And that's kind of normal. Your health works almost the exact same way. You can take about as many shots as these guys, and if they headshot you, you're screwed. It's a very quick way to end the game. But luckily, I actually complete the rest of this level without dying. I'm getting better at it, I guess. It still bugs me that reload animation is so janky. And that slide, while I thought it was cool when I first played this game, the guy slid into cover, that is just annoying now, because you won't slide into cover, you'll slide against cover. Even if you're an inch away, you'll slide against it instead of into it. And that can get you killed in this game. So you can see me being very paranoid. If I had a squad to throw around, I would do it by now.
This is Black Hawk 4. Captain Mitchell has infiltrated the castle.
This is General Martin. I need those heavy artillery pieces taken out. We're getting hit damn hard.
Copy that, General. Mitchell, your objective is to use demolitions. Neutralize those artillery pieces.
I'm on it.
Yep, enjoy. Despite the fact that it was a terrible grenade, he still dies to it. You know, I'll take my victories where I can get them at this point. Alright. I can't aim over cover to shoot this guy, and I'm still trying to figure that out, so... So our last objective is taking out artillery. This is exactly what we were tasked with doing the last mission. Alright. Luckily this isn't well guarded. And as you can see, Mexican Special Forces, they look like, well, me. Like a lot like me. So, we'll be seeing a lot of them for the rest of the game. And they're no tougher than the regular guys. There's nothing really special about them, I guess you could say, if you wanted to be extremely punny. But yeah, there's nothing that really separates them except for the fact they're special forces. And right now they're only showing up simply because we killed everyone who was here before and they needed a reason to populate the rest of the level. Alright. And these are apparently automatic artillery cannons that don't need people to, reload them or look out for them or anything like that. They'll just keep going on their own. They got plows on them. So, take them both out and run. Why do we run? Well, partially because they explode, but partially because there's a little bit more to the level, and I didn't remember exactly what it was, so I wanted to get hidden. And it turns out...
We've got coordinates on the APC, Scott. Proceed to the extraction point.
I'm on the way.
Yep, it's a helicopter.
We've got a helo overhead. He's tracking you. Stay under cover and on the move to the extraction point.
Okay, so I screwed up and I went all the way back down to where those jamming devices were. This had a dual effect. The helicopter started hovering and stopped shooting completely, and I wasted about 6 minutes of my life. So I don't have to worry about rushing away from the helicopter anymore, so that's great. All I have to do is run down this little pathway here and get to the APC and get out of here. But this mission was annoying, and even watching it now I'm getting frustrated. The next mission I did almost the exact same thing as well, actually, which there's a lot of editing that needs to be done for that one. And I might actually put those together into a video just to show you guys how often I died in these levels. But thanks for watching. You can actually get run over by your own APC here if you wanted to. And I'll see you next time when we go rescue us some tanks.
Let's move it, people. Foster will lead the assault. Mitchell, proceed to my position. I've got an op in mind. Something just for you.
General, sir, our intel says the tanks are, at present, not loaded.
See that? It's already looking rosier. Okay. We will run a combined force op. Mitchell and his team will proceed to the north sector to secure the release of our tank trainers.
Understood, General.
Good. And Captain Foster will secure maintenance and storage sheds south of the barracks to liberate tank munitions.
Copy that, General. Just say the word.
Once we've recovered a few tanks and put them into operation, the barracks compound should fall without much of a fight. So let's get on it, men!
One more thing, General. Air Force One is still grounded. We need to move VIP-1. Repeat, quarterback to roll out of the pocket. ASAP.